Hello, I am Ringroo.
And I'm Graham.
We're here today with the train tournament this time on
Ooh.
a high ray show. And who is
Mm.
on this lovely high ray today, Mr. Graham?
So the two guys training today, Rangru, are on the left-hand side in the blue. It's Hedige playing as France unspec, so just base France for all the viewers out there. And then on the right, we have Lemon playing as blue for mechanized.
Yeah, a very interesting matchup, especially just seeing bloody Ace France. This should
Mm.
be quite interesting. He's already going, I don't say hard in the helicopters, but he's definitely getting that forward recon up and going.
Yeah, he's got the Pumas up there to screen, so well, he's got one Puma up there to screen, the Gazelles, you can kind of try and get what's in that? That's the Commandos, I believe, inside the Puma 330. But so pretty standard, a little starfighter out here trying to snipe. Oh, it actually gets the snipe as well.
Two
Gazelle can't.
starfighters.
Yeah, two starfighters. Just a little like forward air detection. France gameplay, it's pretty common, Rang, to see early helo play, especially because like having the M2CV in the Panther is very normal. So we see a Panther actually running up right there after it dropped off a CV. So it's pretty standard play out of there, trying to stop these early helo play out of the French player.
Yeah, and the French just get some really good helicopters. The Puma
Yeah.
Pirates, cost effective. The Panther has, I mean, it's fast and it has ridiculously good rockets. You're up north,
Yeah.
he's actually getting killed by his own unit. The Gazelle Cannon, the Traitorous Bastard, is getting a few good kills here.
Yeah,
Good God.
yeah, and he just killed the AA piece, right?
I think he did.
Yeah, he absolutely just blapped it, which is pretty big. The VAB's going to move up. I think the VAB actually gets the kill. Now, there is an AMX-10 with some infantry along with a little AMX-13, which I love the AMX-13 recon tank for its price. The rate of fire is actually really nice, infantry support. But we see towards the middle rank, Delta Echo, Legion 90 dismounting from their VABs, AMX-10 RC. One was sniped by the Volkswagen in their called Gustav team, but they're going to go ahead and try and get in here. And I think they're going to succeed.
Yeah, just a decent amount of fire support. So Hedige is going to be able to do a decent job of getting control over south of Delta as he's moving his force along that axis. But Lemon going the complete opposite direction, going north of Delta. So we're seeing a little bit of a... it's not a base trade, but they're both
Ooh, Panther taking a
going
hit from the...
quite different paths.
I was gonna say Stinger, but it's not Stinger. It's the Swedish.
RBS?
It's the it's the Star BS. Going against a shot to the Panther. Panther is able to back up, live 2 HP left on it, but he's gonna have to, force back a little bit. Chumat opening up here, probably trying to get a snipe if it can on the AMX-10, but it's missed both shots so far on both the VAB and that AMX-10. And we see Hedige kind of trying to collapse in a little bit on that flank here, but there's a lot of infantry and support equipment out for Lemon in that middle area, Ray.
Yeah, even those M36 Jacksons will be enough to actually put a threat on those AMX-30s if they didn't get spotted first. The Brennus is getting a good engagement there, using that small little gap. We've seen that. Oh, there's also two M1A1 Abrams here.
You say gap or GAP?
And that's for the viewer to decide.
But we do see, the AMX-30 B2s engaging right there. M36 is going down. I do like the placement there. Whatever you said, either direction. More AMX-10s being called, so there's probably some more Chasseurs, some VABs with what I would assume are Legion 90 as well coming out. And a nice thing, I actually like base France rank, now that the game's kind of settling into its paces here, and then we can talk a little more. I do enjoy, because it basically has everything you need in a deck. It just lacks a little bit in certain categories, but overall, it's very strong by itself.
Yeah, you got the good infantry, decent helicopters, you got decent aircraft. It's more so not having like an M1 Abrams equivalent. You either have AMX-30s, and it's like, oh, okay, here's your Leclerc. So there's no like gap, but good close range fire support here. But it's looking how Hedige has, well, really both sides. I mean, Lemon has really taken advantage of his little like northern Delta post, while Hedige's kind of given up the momentum to try to play a bit more defensive, and maybe it might have been better for him just to try to go full on into Foxtrot and just play at base race.
Actually, nice hits on the K1, optical failure and stabilization, so the Brennus is getting really nice shots at that K1. Honestly, he should push that. Legion trying to get in a position here where the Astrix can engage the M1s, both getting hit at the same time as well, under half HP, and they're still shooting the Chasseurs, just soaking up that damage. Oh, wow. One M1A1 already dead. The Astrix is showing you how nasty it is in CQC rank.
Yeah, that's honestly a huge pickup here for Hedige, because as you see, the one which is alive is going to be out of the count for a bit. So this gives him a window of opportunity to try to take advantage and regain some territory.
Yeah, and I actually like the B2 Brennus rank. While it doesn't have a lot of armor, it's kind of a glass cannon. At 65 points, it does get 16 AP. So, especially in those mid-range CQC engagements, where also its autocannon can be a big help, it's a pretty nasty little tank, and you get a decent amount of them as Franks.
Yeah, they're good and spammy, and like a lot of the French stuff, like AMX 13s, the Legion 90s, they really work well in that more like mid-range CQC environment. At long range, you have a little bit of an issue, but that's what a couple of the clerks are for.
Yeah, and we see Rovia at 90 pushing into the point here in Delta. A lot of infantry reinforcements. Some smoke has actually been used by both players. So, you know, and obviously we're in the train tournament. You kind of look to see, like, you know, what are they using some of the more, I guess, skillful tactics, right, that you always see in the elite. We kind of take for granted in all the casters here. But I'd say overall, Hedige, I think, has played this really well and understands, like, the strengths of his deck. At least that's when I look at it and see, like, how has he utilized his infantry and his armor against some of the more heavier formations here from Lemon off the start. And I think he's doing a pretty good job. Though Lemon does have an interesting position by holding the triangular force there in Delta.
Yeah, he really does. He hasn't been able to really fully reinforce that right now because the Abram's getting blapped. So as we're seeing, Hedige starting to collapse in that position, bringing in a mechanized infantry force to deal with the rest of the Fusiliers here. So this should straighten up the line for him and really just turn Delta into more of a traditional 50-50 split.
Yeah, though I think he'll have a hard time pushing the mechanized force here because, you know, for two main reasons. One is, you know, Lemon's going to be able to get a lot of infantry, far more, I think, in terms of sustainability and based off price, the Hedige can in just a straight-up fight. And then also his heavier armor, he did get one M1A1, which was nice, but he wasn't able to finish the K1 and wasn't able to kill the other one. And those tanks will trade well against the Brennus and the AMX-40 if they have the right engagements. And sometimes France can feel a little weak on the front end in those situations.
Yeah, it's honestly a reason why people play more motorized fronts and mechanized fronts. They're not great in those straight up grindy, especially if you're not taking the reserve hit spam, because those really allow you to play almost mechanized if you do them correctly.
Well, and I would even say, Rain, that's why that's why Eurocore is so popular, right? For the most part, it's, you know, from, obviously I'm not an elite player, but the way I've always built it and played it, it's more of like I have France with a side of Germany. And the Germans just really complement the areas that the French don't excel in.
Yeah, you're getting those Panzer Grenadiers and Martyrs. That's what you bloody want. The Legion 90, for the anti-tank. But I'm thinking for Hegi's position here, maybe just playing the 50-50 on Delta, and then just trying to make a push happen in Gove, try to take out mobility. Heck, I mean, neither side has actually done anything in Echo. Both sides could try to mess around here.
Yeah, and France does have speed attached to it, right? Because you have the VABs, you have a lot of, like you said, French motorized or, you know, Eurocore motorized used to be a thing. So you have options there. They have good infantry support, but they do lack, I think, sometimes frontal head-on firepower. I mean, even the Leclerc, right? Is it a great tank? Yeah, obviously. But is it the most powerful, like, in a 1v1 situation? You know, no, that's really not necessarily, it's always the strongest suit. It's that autoloader, right? So it's... I'm curious to see how he's going to do here, because he is tangling with a mechanized deck in basically a small frontage situation.
Yeah, if Delta can just, or if Lemon can keep fighting over Delta, he can do pretty good. I mean, he's getting a reinforcement push down the highway here, bringing some more infantry. If he can get a position back into that triangle forest, which isn't that well defended, get some ATGM troops in there, throw in a 2-match. They even got all the SDRFs, you know, providing them decent fire support. He could just grind out Delta. Oh, the Gopher push is... That's not a push, it's more just a little reconnaissance play.
Yeah, a little recon play. Amix and RC right there. That's the RC SB, just in case people are looking at that. That's not the recon version. That's the actual tank tab one. So, you don't see it as commonly used, but it's actually, I think, really great for 40 points for the French.
Yeah, it's just very bloody cost effective, yo. No stabilizer.
No stabilizer.
What?
No stabilizer. But it does have 16 AP, Rig.
Yeah, which is good. Especially, I mean, we've seen time and again AMX 10s roaming around flanks and blapping CVs behind enemy lines.
But that's why the Roy Cat is the better vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Saying here, I know it's controversial. All the AMX 10 stands out there, I feel you. But Roycat, she just hits different.
Yeah, I mean, you played both in War Thunder, and I think we can both agree the Roycat is the superior vehicle.
The AMX 10 in War Thunder makes me wonder what Eugen was smoking when they made this game, because they are the performance couldn't be more different. So who's lying to me? I need an AMX 10 actual operator to comment on this video and let me know.
This Kernas strike might be big.
Yeah, this could be nasty.
Such a blobbed up position.
Oh, Legion just annihilated right there. I mean, it could have been a little worse, I think, but still rang nasty hit.
Yes, completely slows down that push. It's going to allow the Abrams and the K1 to actually get into position. And then, yeah, we're seeing Hedige immediately pull him back because he does not want any more of that smoke.
Well, that's also 4 squads of Legion 90 dead already in the game. So you only get, I think it's 14, right? 14 individual squads. Yes, if you play base France because of the availability bonus. So he's already down to 10. 2 more on the field. So there's actually only 8 more he can call out, and that's by far and away his best overall infantry unit. While Rima 85 are nice, there's a reason why Legion 90 is considered one of the best infantry units in the game, and it's just they have so much versatility with that Astrix, and that's a heavy loss. Like losing that many this fast, it's something to take into account.
Yeah, and we're seeing Lemon, he's really, playing the high rate of this map to the good effect here, using it as good cover. And I like how he's just kind of circumventing this rather nasty AMX blob and just like, yeah, I'm just going to go around. Come fight me, I'm not going to fight you.
It reminds me of a game we casted a long time ago where Jackie did a similar play style where he went for the highway, right? Like he contested Delta, contested Golf, allowed him to poke into Charlie, and utilized his armor to just kind of dictate engagements in this area, and eventually he just whittled down his opponent and won. And the Brennis here trying to engage the K1 misses, but he backstabs in time. The Brennis almost got, I think, a nice kill there. SCRF being really annoying, killing some Chessers. But the Chesser base with only the LRAC 73. Yeah, I think got kind of garbo.
Yeah, gonna get blapped. They do get Run Rocket off, but we're seeing Lemon does clear up the high ray, and Ralph Lemon was to just exploit this and go right down the high ray. There's no base defense, it's a Casio being brought up, but well, although it's a bloody Bofors, that thing could shoot down Sukas. I think it can shoot down a Cassiope.
I've seen it shoot down airplanes, not tanks. I have seen it shoot tanks though, but tanks flying. Yeah. I guess that'd be a Hind, right? Flying tank.
Honestly impressive that both forces has pretty much just made one gun for like 80 years and is still in business.
Same gun, in time, it's endless.
Yeah.
But I think the Cassiope is going to get the kill here.
Oh.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
Big black.
He didn't appreciate you, kind of shit-talking the Pumas there, Ring.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am just, being paid from the Bofors company to sell anti-aircraft guns. That's what this entire channel's about.
Wow, is Bofors actually sponsoring this YouTube video?
Yeah, it's like a subversive advertising contract. It's like guerrilla marketing.
Wow.
I know, right? Buy Bofors.
Buy Bofors.
Yeah, fuck Orlican. Buy Bofors.
Wow.
I know.
It's getting kind of a little spicy right now.
It's a little bit, yeah. I'm very...
Well, back to the game. Both of them actually end up capping, so we see Lemon caps Delta, which, I mean, I was surprised a little bit, but the pacing, I think he feels he's probably traded well. But we also see Hedige has capped Echo, and there's been no contesting of Echo whatsoever so far by Lemon. But the way it's kind of traded out here, and we also see him pushing up into Golf, and then Zroviat going to kill the Rima 85, which is actually, kind of painful there for Hedige. More and more, Rang, I'm liking Lemon's position. He's traded, I think, overall well. In Delta, outside of the Astrix that killed the one M1A1, he's whittled down some of this armor. And his infantry, like, even if, I don't know exactly what ratio he's trading at right now, but he just has so much.
Yeah, and he's trading well against these tanks. He managed to get one AMX-40, the other runs down to under half HP. And he's just forcing the engagement on his terms. He's been dictating the momentum of this match. Well, Hedige, he's kind of just been clumped into a little corner of Delta, slowly getting Kernas to death, and he hasn't really been able to, maneuver out of that position.
Yeah, I think that he needs something, Hedige, needs something heavier. And maybe it's a Leclerc, right? Just something to soak up some damage, get him back in this, this fight a little bit here. Because even though he's going to tap Charlie here, which would give him a nice little +1 for a piece of time, he hasn't dealt with the Kernas whatsoever, which has made his presence felt. He has had a hard time dealing with the M1 A1s and the K1s outside of the Eric snipe. Oh, did he see where that was going? Yeah, and actually, just missing with the Kernas and the snipe there. But, that puts Hedige on notice. Hey, I know where your CV's at. Maybe I don't kill at that strike, but I'm going to get it. That's really what Livin's saying.
I doxed you. I know where you live.
Right, I doxed your house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in your walls.
Yeah. I'm in your sink.
Yeah, he's definitely in the sink right now. And honestly, he could be all in Charlie if he wanted to.
100%. He's definitely got the forces, yeah. It'd be curious to see if because always it comes down to just that, game sense of...
Right,
You can't have eyes everywhere as much as everyone says you've got to have recon all over the place. You just kind of gotta feel it,
Right. A big thing too, Rang, is we've seen none of the French Air Force, which actually is really versatile in this game. So, it's something that we don't necessarily talk about a lot because we don't see a lot of base France. But France itself has a very competent air arm, which can actually meet just about every need. Does it excel in every category? No. But it can do just about everything you need your air tap to do. And we haven't seen a single plane come out of Hedige yet. And the Kernas has kind of had uncontested strike packages from pretty much the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, he really just needs them around to chase down that Kernas and relieve a little bit of pressure. He has got that one Roland, but you're going to need a bit of better air defense. And also, getting ground-based AA is going to suck for him just due to how Lemon has just broke right through the middle of his force.
Yeah.
He can't set up, a decent concentrated air, and it has to be split.
Yeah, I agree with you. A big thing here from Lemon will be, what's his game sense like? Because there's a lot of times when we cast these, a little lower in terms of, I'd say they're unskilled or anything, but you go from elite to hardened to trained veteran, you see the game sense is different. And does he understand that, hey, I've traded pretty well here, I can probably push Delta, which he's obviously doing. So he recognizes that Hedige probably is weak here in the center. And just, look at the firepower here. It's a bunch of Roby at 90, Gerberman coming out, autocannon support along with K1, so the K1 did get a little damage. I really don't think the mortar or the Erics from the Legion is going to be enough to stop this if Lemon really pushes it.
Yeah, it's just your spam is not going to be enough to deal with this mechanized push, and he does have a good fire support backing him up. And this is getting into a pretty tough position here for Hedige now. Losing the higher A sucks, he's essentially backing out of Delta. He doesn't, just looking at unit composition on the map, there's much more red than there is blue.
And that's a mech effect, you know what I mean? That's just, those mechanized decks can pump out so many units so consistently, while Hedige paying a premium for some of his different units. They just really haven't translated to overall success in this game so far. And a big thing, we talked about earlier, the Legion 90 almost getting, some crazy connections and kills there, but just not quite enough. He's trying to back these Legion 90 out here, though, an AMX 13 sees them on the move, even with the smoke. And the AMX 40s and 32s really haven't been able to get him the edge he needs in some of these armor engagements. Why I think maybe a Leclerc probably would have been better.
Yeah, you just need to get out, especially against mechanized. You need to have that super heavy tank to just put some, put them on threat mode. Just hey, you're gonna push you open. Well, I got the super heavy tank. Your heavy tank won't be enough here. And it's really starting to snowball in Delta. It's just so much baseline infantry between the Gervermans and the Roviats. We've got the Panzer Mortars out ready to go. And he's just kind of slowly picking off Hegide's forces in piecemeal.
Yeah, I go back to, I think, the Kernas strike there into the middle of the Delta formation as he's trying to strike. Oh, we see Kernas opening up right now. Where's he going?
Yeah,
went for the gun.
I dropped one bomb.
He dropped one. I don't know where he went. Overextending there too. Actually, the Kernas might go down. Oh no, he's gonna get lucky and get out of there. That's where having a fighter, maybe instead of investing sometimes in the ground-based AA, rolling threes are nice. But I definitely think for France, having a fighter is probably a little bit better, just because you do. Whether it's the Raphael or even the Mirage 2000, it's a pretty nasty little fighter for 120 points.
Yeah, just to run 2 punts. Roland just needs to get one hit, and then the Mirage just needs to get one hit for their magic missiles.
Yeah, magics. Yeah. we see the push that was going into Charlie did kind of stall out there for Lemon. He definitely thought, I think, that he could, it definitely, looked like he could get into Charlie there and make something happen, but there was just enough units there by Hedige to kind of dissuade it. Though another Legion 90 squad died, which is, he's lost a lot of those Legionnaires. They're gonna have a massive recruiting campaign after this game is over, but
hanging out in Dominique.
Yeah, they ain't hanging out. they were there out. They ain't chilling anymore.
They were on vibing.
Yeah. I thought Beatrice is where they were mainly at.
Oh, never mind. I get all the mistresses mixed up.
Yeah, you gotta be a ladies' man, Ringer. Just like the Castries. But, Leclerc has been called out here by Hedige. My one worry is that it might be too late. I feel like having it off the get-go would have been the better move, especially because his Air Force is kind of more designed to either protect, at least my observation, to protect his own airspace versus like deal damage on the battlefield. And right now there's so many targets that, a bomber would be nice for, or good artillery, but he really doesn't have any of that in his deck, so he's going to have to rely on the Leclerc here to just do so much.
Yeah, and now we're seeing just heavy tank spam from Lemon between the K-Runs and the Abrams. They can just put so much, fire threat onto the field. AMX-40s do not trade well because of their rather low armor. So he's in a difficult position unless he can maybe, get some Milans out. But the Milan he does have is out of ammo. It's a problem with ATGM infantry.
Yeah, even with the F3. And the F3 is expensive at 25 points. And it has a 50% accuracy, so it does at the 26 AP, but, I mean, even just right there, we're talking base level, you have a 50-50 shot, see if you're going to hit. Like, it's just, there is better ATGM infantry out there than the F3. It's nice, but I think you even see, like, a lot of elite players, and they just bring the F2. Like, they're going to bring it, or even the base one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it's barely hitting anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like 10-point ATGMs. I think are very cost effective.
I mean, even compared to the Shumat, which is 5 points less, and sure, it does have the 5 less AP, but it has at a base level 10% more accuracy. I'd rather it hit more often than have the higher level chance of it's going to do more damage, because so often in this game, RNG can make its presence felt, and Milans just seem ripe for RNG just wanting to cost you the game.
Oh, Leclerc is on the field.
She getting aggressive. No infantry support whatsoever with her. I really think those AMX-13 should have been with her instead of pushing up there by themselves. We see more ATGMs from the Swedes. A lot of ATGMs actually out on the map right now. Chasseurs engaging the government, but he's going to need some more fire support than that. But those are Chasseurs with the MAP 49. They legit are on Dominique.
Yeah, this is really going to come down to whether Leclerc can start mopping up all these Abrams and K1s. Even then, there's still a decent amount of infantry has to go through, but just being able to deal with the armor, I think, would give him a good step into getting into Delta here. And it isn't... Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, a big thing we need to remember is that Hedige is actually up in points. I know it hasn't felt like it, but he does have the actual points lead. The problem is that he doesn't have the momentum on the map, right? He's ceded the initiative. I mean, let's just look at Charlie real quick. There's a flood of infantry starting to take over that space. That CV is in real danger right now. And the Cassiope is going to get caught here in the open here by the RBS. They're going to hit right there. The next one should connect and finish it off, unless it's going to go full war now. No, it doesn't.
Actually reliable here. Oh, he doesn't even have the command infantry guns off.
Yeah, he's firing his LMG right there.
Oh,
and now the plus... Sacre bleu. Yeah, and so now we see Lemon taking the lead here. Well, yes, he doesn't have the actual points lead just now, but he does have the +1, and he has the momentum in this match right now. The Leclerc needs to get repaired because she's lost some HP here, and Hegi's going to have to string something together. He needs some kind of, he needs Bajar to come in here and lead some crazy counterattack to stabilize the front.
Yeah, this is not good at all. Especially, that's the downside of getting at the Leclerc, is just that points could have been into Charlie just to defend it. Yeah, and that's a lost cause. He is not getting back into Charlie anymore.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, that's why I thought the Leclerc would have been better brought from the very beginning. bring the Leclerc off the get-go, get a mortar, smoke it, and then dictate the pace early with that. Then you use your AMX 10s to kind of maybe flank a little more, be aggressive with your lighter motorized infantry. But now that, we're over halfway into this game, the mechanized firepower is just, it's almost too great, right? Like, there's so many units on the map right now for Lemon. Like, that Leclerc would have to probably be commanded by Leclerc himself.
Yeah, and he's only like 2 or 3 supply trucks just hauling 120mm shots to keep it firing. Like,
that Leclerc needs Leclerc, Delatra, and Charles de Gaulle, all three crew members are, in that tank right there to bring it back for France right now.
And on the radio is Napoleon giving them orders.
Yeah, Napoleon's commanding from the grave.
While being blessed from Charlemagne.
Yeah, he's somehow figured it all out, modern armor tactics.
Yeah.
In the 200 years since his death. But we do see, the AMX 10, the Leclerc pushing up, getting some nice engagement here, the K1, doing real good damage to 1, missing that second shot, though. And, I mean, he really needs this to wipe. Like, he needs a wipe.
Yeah, he just needs to completely start blapping some of his K1s here, but Leclerc being on half HP is really going to screw it, not having much infantry support or really recon as well. It feels like he's going to drive himself into a trap.
Oh, HEGM coming out, getting a snipe there on the AMX 10s. That hurts right there because he needs them soaking. Roland opening fire on the Kurnas. The Kurnas, I think, is going to go down, but it gets a massive hit on Leclerc down to 1 HP, and this push is now over, Rang.
Yeah, and just that time of having to repair the Leclerc. Heck, it might not even get out if he chases it fast enough.
Yeah. Oh, actually, a Lars R160 brought up here, which is the cluster version. So, rip. Yeah, I was about to go back and say it's going to die, but no. I hope for all French people watching that crew, that wasn't the actual crew of the Leclerc. I take it back.
We have to retcon out.
Yeah, we need to wipe that in post, Ranger.
Or just bleep out the names. People think they're saying something like really offensive.
Right. I'm doing that for all you French viewers out there. I don't want to break your heart like that. Yeah. We do see AMX. He actually brought the AMX 10P Milan. Kind of surprised. I mean, it's 25 points. You do get the, the base Milan, but you almost never see that in I mean, we don't see a lot of base.
That's 20 points.
It's definitely overpriced. Like, it's not that. One thing I can say to Hedige, that was not a good unit.
No, not at all. But no, at this point, I think Hedege's kind of buggered, so we can just take it sort of times 2.
Okay, you want to do it now?
We'll do it in 12, 15 game time. Okay. So times 2.
Okay. Yeah, he's he's kind of lost the point here. We see the Lars opening up, trying to get a snipe on the Vab. Those down to 1 HP there in Echo, and just overall, I think Hedige had a pretty decent opening engagement ring. But he traded out some valuable units there and then just really lost the momentum, which, I mean, to be fair, that happens in a lot of games against mechanized. Like, if you take... It almost seems like it takes one bad engagement, and next thing you know, there's a horde of mechanized infantry backed up with some, 80, 100-point tanks just shoving itself down your throat.
Yeah, especially on this map where it is pretty pointy in Delta. Like, if you lose that run engagement, you're just buggered, as you see, because there's baseline infantry spam, and then the M1 on freeze will just take the point. And I think Lemon's position at the start, that was such a good idea, just going right down the highway. And then after losing that initial position, it's like, no, I'm going to go take it back. That's good ground. And that gave him really good leverage to really box in Hedige and Delta.
Right. And he never fully lost it. I mean, he lost, a little bit of that initial engagement there. I mean, the KD really speaks for itself, as we saw in the back half of the game. But he held on to, the Triangle Forest, right? So he still had positioning with infantry. He just needed to get back up there, take control, and he wasn't wiped. Even the M1A1s where they were engaged by the Legion 90, he lost one of them, which does suck, right? But he kept... One of them still survives, which is massive as this game goes on. And the K1, which was almost sniped, lived, I think, on 2 HP. Optical failure, stabilization failure, right? Really messed up. Gets back, gets some smoke down to cover it, repair it up, and then Lemon, next thing you know, Lemon still has multiple, for this version of part of the game, heavy tanks left in action to back up his infantry.
Mm-hmm. No, honestly, just considering, we're jumping from elite to trained, both players played pretty well. Like, there's obviously, a few mistakes here and there, but good job.
No, I thought it was actually a really good game. It was fun to cast. I like seeing some of the more like nation-specific decks because we just don't, we really don't see like that very often. It's kind of like whenever we get an East German deck, right? We gotta auto cast it.
Like Finland.
Yes, base Finland, because we know about your Finnish standness. But it is cool to see France used. And I do think France has a lot of benefit, like a lot of good things going for it. But you can just tell even their rank, why is Eurocore so popular? Like, why is it since the day this game came out, Eurocore is one of the best decks in the game? Because there are weaknesses to the French deck that Eurocore just automatically nullify.
Yeah, I mean, Panzer Grenadiers are very good at making their home in France.
Yeah, they're very good at that.
But anything else to say, Graham?
No, sir, that's all it. I appreciate it, and I look forward to next week.
Alright, well, we'll see you guys next week as well, and as usual, please just take it easy.